Hi everybody, today is Monday, May 24th, so let's get into our daily agenda for today. For today we have quite a bit to do, so we're going to get through it. So we are going to start off with our poetry drag and drop. I don't quite have a picture of it yet, but let me show you what it looks like. You guys are going to be creating your own poetry examples, and based on the following examples, so you can create an example of tone, example of alliteration, an example of allusion, X, Y, and Z, for all 8 of these terms. Then you are going to drag each of the types of poems to the corresponding examples you're required to have. So, for example, we'll do one together. Tone. It was a dark and stormy night when I realized I failed my math test. That is tone, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we're getting that kind of language in. We're getting that spookiness, that eeriness because of the words we use. So the type of poem that you have to use tone for is a slam poem. So you would go ahead and just drag over a slam poem on top of it. Okay, you would do that for each one of these. So for alliteration, I'll give you guys that one. Make an example of alliteration. Remember, alliteration is a repetition of the first consonant sound. So Peter Piper picked the pack of pickled peppers. That repetition of P sound, that's alliteration. So then once you have your alliteration example, what type of poem requires you to have alliteration? You might have to look in your notes for it, that's fine. But the type of poem that requires it, that's a haiku. A haiku requires you to have that. Okay. So, oops, mix that around. So just so you guys know what that looks like. That's what we're going to do for our do now. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start getting into our slam poetry, not slam poetry, but our poetry unit in general. We are going to go over our poetry portfolio and the rubric and some of the examples that are listed for you. So, this is our poetry portfolio. This is what it looks like. This is where you will put each of your poems. A sonnet, a haiku, free verse, and a slam poem. Today we're just going to focus on sonnet. Let's just focus on a sonnet. Let's make sure to have our sonnets. That's our big focus for today, sonnets. Okay? You guys know how to read sonnets, you've read sonnets, you've looked at them. Then we're gonna briefly go over, I want you guys to see what the rubric looks like. You've completed the assignment. You're using your poetry devices. Remember, for a sonnet, you have to have a metaphor and an allusion. You have to use them. Style, what style are you using in your poems? The format, for a sonnet, do you have all 14 lines? Do you have the 4 stanzas? Do you have 10 syllables in each line? Remember, do you have each of these formats that are required by the poem? And then how you guys use technology as well. So, and then for those of you that are like, Miss Ornelas, I'm not sure what a sonnet needs to have. I'm going to have this up. The sonnet has 14 verses, 4 stanzas, 10 syllables, and the rhyme scheme and what's required. I want you guys to be able to see exactly what is required from you. So that's what we will be doing there for our sonnets, okay? So I just want you guys to see it. I did on Google Classroom also include examples. If you would like to look at them, you may. So I have an example of a sonnet that I made. You guys can see a haiku, a free verse, a slam, and then our sonnet. This would get minimal to no points. The sonnet's not correct. It's not finished. The haiku has too many syllables. Free verse isn't really done. Slam poem doesn't really say anything. It doesn't carry that emotion. So we'll look at this briefly just so you guys can have the example to look at what I'm expecting in each one. When you guys are going to start your sonnets, I have a template for you guys where I have it. Now you guys just need to kind of really fill it in. I know the sonnet's a little bit harder. There's a blank template of the sonnet. And then this is my example. I made a sonnet too with you guys. It was really hard to make one, but I'm sure you guys got it. Okay, so that's what we will be doing for today. We will be really just focusing on our sonnet writing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you have any questions, need to reach out to me, reach out to Ms. Arroyo. We are here for you guys. Only 7 more days, y'all. All right, I'll see you guys in class.